What up, guys? It's Charles, and I am here with my good friend Mikhail.
What's up?
All right, so we are in Palm Desert right now. Palm Desert, it's like close to Palm Springs.
Yeah.
Super beautiful, so blessed.
Yeah.
Feels so good to be here, right?
It feels amazing to be here.
Yeah, so today's topic is about do what you love and get paid for it. I wanted to bring on Mikhail because Mikhail has a very inspiring story of starting 712 Marketing. It's a marketing agency, and 3 years ago you were at a job.
Yeah.
Tell us the whole process of how you went from being an employee to actually having a vision to create a company and
Sure.
actually executing, because I think that's something that people struggle with.
Sure. So here's the thing: is it was actually somewhat forced. But I was working at a company, a local SEO
Okay.
agency, and they just weren't doing work for their customers.
Okay.
We would charge them monthly, and they weren't doing anything. And after
Wait, what is it called? Can we disclose?
I probably should know, and you'll find out why.
Yeah.
And the reason that, and finally I got fed up with the fact that they weren't doing anything, because that's not how I live. No matter how much money I was making, it was the first salary job I'd ever had.
Uh-huh.
But
I love that you have this integrity from the get-go, though. It's like, I can't feel good going to
Right.
sleep at night
right,
knowing that we're taking someone's money but not giving them the most value.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly. And so I met up with my buddy Drew,
Okay?
and I told him, hey Drew, I have an idea for a company. It's going to be called 712 Marketing, and we're going to focus on social media marketing.
Okay.
And literally it was like that. He's like, all right, let's do it. I'll back you.
So what did you study in school? Because I know as we speak right now, there are a lot of people who are, confused about what to study in school.
Right.
And what to do after you graduate.
Right.
That's something that I think we all struggle with. I remember, oh shit, we have to figure out a fucking major, and that's what we have to do for the rest of our lives.
Right.
It's like a lot of stake and a lot of stress, and especially if you're struggling to pay for tuition, school,
Right.
like it's expensive. So
Yeah.
what did you study in school, and does it connect to what you do now?
No, I studied to be a nurse. I was a
love
nurse.
it. I love it.
At the age of 20, or actually at the age of 19, I got my nursing license. Unfortunately, somebody very close to me kind of messed around using my nursing license and got me sued for $500,000
Oh wow.
before I even was old enough to drink. So I got stripped of my nursing license, and then I was literally knocking on doors to like clean carpets.
Wow.
Right? And then I played poker for 3 years, where I feel like I learned much of my business acumen and learned what patience and well-timed aggression can actually get you.
Yeah.
And then started working at that internet marketing company as like as a sales rep, and then 712 happened. So
Wow, that's so inspiring, because I know that there's a lot of people who are watching who want to learn how to turn their passions into a career or a business and a side hustle.
Right.
What are some tips that you can give to people who are watching as far as going from an idea to actually executing?
Sure. Well, the first thing that you have to do is you literally have to love what you're doing. Because it's one thing to have a good idea for like a product that you think everybody will buy, but if you don't 100% stand behind that, you can't work the 14th, 15th, 16th, 18th hour to get what you need.
That's so true. That's such a great point. Passion drives everything. Starting your own business, it's not always going to be easy, and I think we can both agree to that.
Right.
A lot of people think, wow, when you're at your heights and of like success,
Right.
it's very glamorous. It looks like, oh, it's such a nice life to live. But I think people don't realize that it's a struggle. It's something that it's going to take some time to actually
Right.
foster even more income.
Sure.
And it's going to be a lot of times where you're working really late hours,
Right.
and you're hustling, because if you don't hustle, you're not going to get paid.
Right.
So, but that's like the realist side of things. But I love that you tie it back to passion, because what's going to get you through those days of struggle and disappointment and when you hit challenges is that you are so passionate and you believe in what you do 110%.
Right.
What are some ways that people can utilize social media today
Sure.
to actually build a personal brand and to create a business?
Sure.
And what is a business in your words?
In my words, a business is just it's as simple as it is. Somebody pays you for a service or a product, and you deliver it 110%. That's
I
it.
love
And then
that.
you keep doing it. Very simple.
It is a very simple concept, and I think people overthink it. If you have a good product, if you have a good service, you can go into business. If you are providing value for a group of people, or if there's a niche that you are fulfilling, you're gonna get paid for it. So I always tell people, like whenever they're starting a business, I always say go back to write a list of things that you're really, really talented and really, really good at that separates you from someone else, and figure out how you're bringing value to other people. And I think once you focus on the value that you're bringing, rather than, oh, I need to have a business plan or I need to have this, those are all important things, but until you figure out what your value is, I think you have no business.
And here's the thing. You asked how somebody can use social media to grow a business. It's not easy, first of all, because you have to be a good salesman. But the first thing that you can do, at least to start doing what you love and get paid for it, is figure out what you're interested in. So let's say you're interested in UFC. You search the hashtag, everybody that's into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, UFC, Conor McGregor, all that stuff, and you start connecting and engaging with them. And at least at that point, you can start building your network, around people that are interested in the same thing. And then you might never be a UFC fighter. You might never be an announcer, but what you could be is the guy that does all the Snapchat for Conor McGregor because you jabbed him enough times over a period of time that he actually says what's up.
I love that.
Which is a huge thing.
That is a huge thing. And you figured out your value within how can you serve someone else, and then you're learning so many insights just being around this person. So I think once you figure out how can I help other people, I think a lot of people walk around with this mentality of what can I get instead of what can I give. So if you figure out how can I give and offer my service to other people, people are more willing to talk to you, to mentor you, to give you advice. But if you're just sitting around waiting for someone to throw you a bone and you're not taking any sort of actions, I think it's really, you're not going to get the success, or you're not going to get anybody wanting to help you out.
And by the way, guys, anybody that's watching this right now, it's literally how I'm sitting here right now. I knew about you before NeoCell.
Really?
100.
Wow.
I saw you on a bunch of posts and whatever. You actually look like one of my friends. Was like, wow, and that's how it started. And then I followed what you were doing. And then it was crazy that, because of a client that we have, or somebody that we work with, we got to see here. But it was just really just building connections, and it, never ever, overlook how significant one connection can be, because it leads you everywhere.
And I think going back to that, before I touch on that, I want to give a little shout out because we have a lot of awesome people watching. Hi JP, thanks for watching. I see you. Alexander Clay, hello. Lisa Smith is watching. Frank is watching. Zachary is watching. I love that you guys are all watching. Lisa, make sure you guys comment below. Let us know where you guys are watching from. So I'm watching you guys' feed. If you guys have any questions, let us know. If you're just tuning in, I'm here with Mikhail. He is the co-founder of 712 Marketing. And we're talking about how to do what you love. How do you do what you're passionate about? And what Mikhail just talked about that is really, really important is relationships. Relationships is what makes the world go around. You cannot do anything by yourself. Don't try to figure out everything by yourself. You need to build a team. You need to build a team of people who share your vision, who share your values, and that's how you actually grow and create momentum. I think when I first started out, I thought I could do everything, and I was running around, and I'm sure we all been in the same places, because yes, in the beginning you're gonna have to do some of that. You gotta utilize your resources and try to okay, how do I figure it out? But as you're growing, you have to start gaining trust in people and relationships, and saying, you know what, I trust your vision, I trust your integrity, I'm gonna give you this task and give you responsibility, because people take ownership.
100.
What are your thoughts?
Well, and I agree with you 100%. If you can at least surround yourself with people that have the same goal as you, and the end goal for my business partner and I, for Drew, is that we just help as many people as we can. I don't actually care about Facebook's new algorithm. I know everything about it, but what I care about is making sure that we deliver on what we promised, and creating an environment for the people that we work with that they're happy to come to work.
Do you guys have any questions regarding building a business based around your passions? Do you guys have any questions? Katrina is watching. Hi Katrina. Martin is watching from New York City. And also Amanda is watching. Hi you guys. I love seeing that you guys are watching. This is so awesome. Vishnu is also watching, and he asked, how can I make money? So what's another way, what would you say to that, Mikhail? That's the question.
Again, you got to figure out what you're good at. So if you're a photographer, use Instagram and show off all your work. Create a website or a portfolio for yourself. Click up there. I mean, I hate to say this, but it's really simple. You just have to start doing it. You have to put out the content that people like. If your photos are good, you know what I mean? People are going to want to buy them or hire you to be their photographer. You know what I mean? Or just create, if you're an accountant, start creating content on like what a revolving interest rate is on a credit card, because I have no idea what that is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Create that type of content, and then people are going to want to consult with you and maybe hire you as a consultant or something like that, and push it on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, whatever else.
And I think one other thing, great points, Mikhail, is that if you're talented at something, get even better. Just because talent is not going to get you, it'll get you into the door and it'll get you noticed. But what's going to keep you going is if you're honing your craft. If you're good as interior design, if you're good as a chef, if you're good at social media, always constantly learning and putting yourself in the student chair. I feel like I'm such a novice, like I don't know anything. Like I feel like I'm still learning. I feel like you're the same.
Yeah. We're
just humbled by like people in our industry. We're constantly learning. We're always growing. And I think that's important, not staying stagnant, just like, oh, I think I'm good at art. I'm just gonna keep doing the same thing. Because if you keep doing the same thing, you're just gonna get the same results. So change it up. I am constantly reading. Speaking of reading, what are some books that you can recommend to other people? That you really like?
Crush It by Gary Vaynerchuk and Ask Gary Vee by Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yes, we love Gary Vaynerchuk. So if you don't know who Gary Vaynerchuk, he's an awesome entrepreneur. We'll leave links below, but he's, to say the least, he's pretty amazing. He provides a lot of value and he's killing it, crushing it. Cool. I think what I would say is one of my favorites is that comes to the top of my head is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That's all about the mindset. I think a lot of people think, starting a business, all of that, they don't really keep in mind that your mind is basically how you navigate through this life. We have so many millions of thoughts every single day. How can we hone these thoughts to actually support our visions for growth? Because we have subconscious minds, we have negative self-talk, we're all human.
Right.
How do you navigate through that and condition ourselves with positive energy, positive visions, and break through any like blockages that might hold us back?
Right. And I think that's the one thing that legitimately changed my life. And I gotta say, it was actually, I always had it, like I grew up relatively religious, but like when I started listening to Tony Robbins, he focused so much on gratitude.
Oh yes.
And now I spent the first hour of my day, no matter what, in deep gratitude for everything. Like I used to run all the time. I haven't ran in 3 months. I used to run all the time, and it wouldn't be like about getting fit. It would be because I was so thankful that I had legs to run.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And
that's
having
beautiful.
that amount of gratitude changed everything. Your perspective changes on everything. And now you're willing to work because you realize how lucky you are to be able to start anything.
Yeah.
You know?
That's so beautiful. And that's something that I really treasure, health and wellness. And I was telling Mikhail, we're going to get him, 2017 is coming around. And I was, I've been going for a run, and Mikhail's like, yo, like I wish I could do it. I was like, yes, you can. And I think tying that back to your passion or whatever you love to do, whether it's your business or your passion project, your health is your well-being. If you don't have this vehicle right here that you were speaking about, how healthy we have joints, knees, all these things, we can't navigate through this world. So with a healthy body allows us to do what we love best in our full capacity. And you're going to show up on those days when maybe someone else is sick in your field, and you're going to get that opportunity. So it's going to support you, and it's going to basically bring you out to this world. Just like your body is like a car, like a vehicle. You give it the best fuel. Fuel, not just in food, but your mental thoughts and your environment. You get to choose who you surround yourself with. So speaking of that, Mikhail, can you talk a little bit about how does your environment dictate your future?
Well, the environment is more than one thing for me personally, but definitely you want to set yourself up for success. And the number one way to do that is set up, like, I gotta say, kind of cheerleaders rooting you on around you. When you start pushing your own content, it filters people out very, very quickly, because some of them might not share your content or give you a like or anything like that. But once you start surrounding yourself with people that really want you to succeed, that's how you get to the next level.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
And not being afraid, like you said, surrounding yourself with cheerleaders. But the only way for you to surround yourself with cheerleaders, if you're vulnerable and you actually voice what is it that you're working on, what is it that you're passionate about. If you never tell anybody, nobody will know. So share your story, share your passion. Don't be afraid. It's very vulnerable. We're all artists. Whether you're in business, I feel like business is an art form.
Yes.
And I see it as an art. So it's so beautiful. When people share their art, you're very vulnerable and you're kind of scared because you're afraid of judgment.
Yeah.
But all that is not important. It's what is really important is your intention, and is that you're pure and you're authentic, and you believe in what you do, and you're staying true to yourself.
And you know what? That's somebody asked me, like, what should I? Now this fly really likes me. So somebody asked me, like, what are the most important things in business? One is obviously tenacity or hustle. But number two is to know when you're not good at something, and you have to admit that to yourself. Like, thank God for Drew, because I am the worst at accounting. I can barely do math. Like, all of the legal aspects and operational parts of my business, like, I know the very 30,000 foot level of what we need to do, but doing the nitty gritty and the attention to detail, I don't have that.
Yeah.
As prideful as I wanted to be that I did everything myself.
Yeah.
I know that without that, like, it could potentially fall apart.
Yeah.
Unless I find somebody, and thank goodness it's my best friend of 17 years.
Yeah.
But unless I found somebody to fill that gap.
I love that. It's knowing what your weaknesses are and letting go of your ego, and it's like allowing people to step in who can fill those needs. And when you're building a team, that's what you're really looking for. It's like, what am I lacking that I really need help and support around? And yes, it's one thing to know your weaknesses, but I think it's also, once you identify what your weaknesses are, I think you can still build up those strengths. So you can still, like, read up on those books. So people, like, for example, some people, I have friends who are like, oh, I'm not good at finances. And I'm like, okay, so what are you spending all your energy on? Are you reading a book on finance? Are you trying to learn?
Right.
Because if you just say, I'm not good at it and I'm not going to attempt to learn about it, you're never going to be good at it. So really, just as much time you spend at the gym, navigate some time to actually spend and invest on things that you're not good at.
Or just as much time as you spend watching reruns of Family Guy.
Yes. We all love Family Guy. I love Stewie.
I love Stewie too.
Yeah.
But that's the stuff that you have to cut out. Everybody, I don't like the idea of, I don't have time.
Oh, I know. I hear that all the time.
I really don't, because there's like 4 to 6 hours of everybody's day, even in ours.
Yeah.
There's always like 2 hours where it's like, where you're not doing something to improve your skills.
Yeah.
With that said, I do think it's important to, like, find time to clear your head and do all that stuff. But in Monday through Friday, there's 2 hours where you're watching YouTube videos and not actually learning, like, your craft.
I love that. How do you, as an entrepreneur, do you have like a list of things to do? How do you stay on track? How do you still stay self-motivated?
Sure.
Because, you know, if you're used to going to an employee and always constantly working and knowing, like, these are your goals, like, how do you navigate and stay as productive as possible working for yourself?
Well, the first thing is that gratitude spot, because it puts me in a better perspective of what's going on.
Okay.
And then I spend a lot of time thinking from a 30,000 foot level.
Okay.
And by a lot of time, I mean about 30 to 45 minutes a day. What do I actually want next year to look like for myself? You know what I mean? And then after that, it's like, what's 1, 2, 3 things I can do today that maps toward that end goal?
Okay.
And that's how I stay motivated in it.
I love it. And we just got gifted this gift that I've been using for a while. It's called the 5-minute journal. Writing things down. Write your goals down. There's going to be moments of times that you're more inspired than other times. Write those goals down. You can dream bigger. You feel like you're so close to it. Write those things down. And also, I don't know if I showed you, Mikhail, I have a vision board. So my phone desktop is my vision board.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, so it's a digital vision board that I see every single day. I spend so much time on my phone that I thought, why not just put it right here?
Yeah.
So that's something you guys can do for yourself.
Idea.
Yeah, it's so exciting, and 2017 is right around the corner. So I think something that we want you guys to think about is, what is that one thing that you've been wanting to try, whether it's a hobby or a passion or a business? Yeah, and how can I take steps to get there?
And by the way, it doesn't have to be your business.
It doesn't.
It can be, I want to spend more time with my kids and get to know my son.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, instead of coming home and slamming 3 beers, why don't I actually figure out what he's doing on Snapchat all day?
Yeah.
Why don't I ask him what girl he has a crush on?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Communication. Life is short. Make sure you use your time wisely. I hope this brought so much value to you guys. If you guys want to see more, we will make more videos for you guys. This is Mikhail from 712 Marketing. And I am
Thank
super
you so
excited.
much.
Yeah, this is
dude.
awesome.
So awesome.
See you guys soon. Bye. Cheers. Woo.